Time to paint the crows from Resident Evil Boardgame by Steamforged Games. Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today's video we will be painting up the next monster from the Resident Evil Boardgame by Steamforged Games. These are the crows, so these can be used for your Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 board games, since these monsters are found, or these creatures are found in each of them. Before we get into it, if you would like to support my channel, I do have a link to my PayPal in the description. If you would like to donate, please do. And if you do donate, chuck in a request from any of the Resident Evil board games. I've got Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. So if you want to see any of the monsters painted up, or any of the characters, yeah, chuck in a request and I will try and get that done as soon as possible. For these guys, they were washed in warm soapy water and scrubbed with a toothbrush. That's to get any release agent off. This is important because if you don't do this, as you use them, play with them, and paint will eventually rub off them. So it's essential that you do that. And then they were base coated in Brainmatter Beige spray can, rattle can from the Army Painter line. So without further ado, let's get into painting the crows. Okay, so first step for these guys, we're gonna do the crows themselves last. We want to paint up the corpse on the ground first. So for this, we're going to go in with Rakarth Flesh, as I usually do for zombie corpses. And yeah, just slap it on. Don't worry, this is the first paint to go on, so don't worry too much about going on any other parts. So just keep an eye out for what you want. So he's got his arms, 2 arms, and his head, and then he's got all the entrails, which will be a different colour. So I'll get this done and we'll be back. Okay, skin on those are done. Next up I'm going to go in with Zandri Dust. And this is going to be on one of their shirts. So for this, just aim sort of in the middle like that. And over like that. Like so. I'll get that done and we'll be back. The other guy, same again, but this time it's going to be Grey Seer. So his shirt's going to be Grey Seer this time. Like so. Again, don't worry too much about going on the crows here. It can be fiddly, and plus they'll be painted black at the end, so you don't have to be too worried about getting paint on them. Like so. Up, we're going to go in with Mournfang Brown, and this is going to be for the jacket of the guy who's got the Zandri Dust shirt. So this is just whatever. This is where you need to be a little bit more careful to not get any paint on the previous steps. And then I'm also going to do the hair of the other guy with this. Let's say. So hair on him and blazer on this guy. Probably need 2 coats. Yeah, I'll get that done and we'll be back. Next step is going to be Eshin Grey, and like before I'm going to do the blazer and the hair of the other guy. So the hair on this chap. So that. And don't forget a little bit on this side, and then the blazer. Again, take your time. You should have no issues with this. It'll probably need 2 coats, which is fine. But yeah, just take your time and you should have no issues whatsoever. I'll get that finished and we'll be back. So we're going to do all the guts and all the innards, and this is going to be Pink Horror. Always give your part a good shake before use, and yeah, just slap it on like so. It doesn't have to be perfect because there will be quite a bit of blood going onto this, so So I'll get that finished and we'll be back. Alrighty, so next up we're going to go in and do all the shading for the corpse. And for this we're going to need Reikland Fleshshade. And yeah, as always, give your pot a good shake. And we're just going to slap it all on. All over the entire model. Or all over the body anyway. Don't worry too much about it going up onto the crows, because as I said before, they'll be black, so we're not even going to notice them. Yeah, I'll get this finished and we will be back. Okay, so that's the washing done on the, well, shading done on the corpses. So we're going to go in and just sort of bring back some of the original colour. So mini little highlight. So for this, we're going to do the flesh with Rakarth Flesh. And this is just getting all the highest points. We want to leave some of that flesh tone in the recesses. So, I mean, a lot of this is going to be covered in blood anyway, but that's it. Next we're going to get Flayed One Flesh and mix this in, just a dot of this in with the Rakarth Flesh to get a nice highlight. And this is going to be the highest points. This is going to be the extreme highlight on the skin. So, like I said, a lot of this is going to be covered in gore and stuff, so don't really need to go too mad with this. But yeah, just do the highest points. So, I'll get this finished and we'll be back. Next up, we're going to go in Usabti Bone. Now this is going to be for the shirt underneath the suit top on this one in this one here. This is just very sparingly. Don't just go too crazy. So, Mournfang Brown, and this is going to be for the blazer or the suit top of this one here. Again, you don't have to worry too much about this because a lot of it's going to be covered in blood and gore later. So, and don't forget the hair on this guy. Obviously, if you're doing different colours, use the respective highlights. But yeah, and then Skrag Brown. Again, this is the extreme highlights for these bits. That's it. And don't forget the hair. Going to be the Ulthuan Grey. And this again is for the vest or the shirt on this chap here. Just take your time. Can be a bit fiddly getting in between these birds, but if you take your time, shouldn't have too many issues. So, and Eshin Grey. Again, this is for the blazer of the other guy and the hair of the other chap. So the hair, like so. And this side as well. Like that. There you go. And then the blazer. Like that. Oops. Pardon me. Right, okay, and this bit. Like that. Yeah, it can be fiddly with the birds there, but just take your time. And get Grey Seer and just put a dot of that in with the Eshin Grey. That should give you a nice highlight. So. Next in, back with Pink Horror, and this is going to be for the guts. Seeping out. We want to leave as much of the shade in the recesses as possible here, so just try not to get too much over. Again, a lot of this is going to be covered up with Blood for the Blood God, but we do want it to be a decent level like so. Emperor's Children for the highlight. Use this, you can sort of dry brush this a little bit if you wanted to. Save a bit of time. Like so. Marvellous. Okay, so now we're on the crows. So here we want to be very careful and not to go over the previous bits we painted. So for this we're going to use Black Legion. And I'm going to use a fairly small brush here, just so I have better control. And yeah, just take your time here. And just be ever so careful when you get down towards the bottom of the birds. We want to cover the entire bird in this. If you wanted to use a smaller brush for the bits around the bottom, do it on all of them and then switch to a bigger brush you can. Or if you just want the control all the way through, use a smaller brush. So just, as I said, take your time and you shouldn't have too many issues. I'll get this done and we'll be back. So nearly there with the crows. Next up we need Dark Reaper. We're going to do this as a sort of a dry brush here. So get a bit on your brush like so. With a bit of paper. You want to get as much of that off as possible. And we're just going to dry brush over the wings just to catch the sharpest points like so. Not going to go too mad here. I don't want them to look too blue. But we're going to do this for all of them and we'll be back. Finally we're going to go in with Russ Grey. And this is going to be same again. Get a bit on your brush. A little bit of tissue and get the majority of it off. And this is going to be focused mostly on the top. So this is very lightly. Drag your brush like that. This should just pick up the very sharpest parts of the feathers. Don't worry about doing any on the underside because that can stay dark. Like so. Nice and easy there to do the crows. That's that done. That's that step done. Okay, so the crows are very nearly done. Last bit now is we need. I painted the base red. That was corn red, and that's how I always do my monster bases. So now we're going to go in with blood for the blood god, and this is going to be pretty much all over the base and maybe some of the beaks. Just a little bit on the crows. As usual, I've got a bristle protector here from that you get with new paintbrushes, and as before, a bit of sponge in the middle, and just use this to dab on blood around mostly the wounds. If this doesn't work, just get a paintbrush. Do the same. You want it mostly around the around the wounds. Plenty around there, around the base, pulling onto the base, around the wounds on the arm, and the mouth where it might have been, or maybe the eyes where the crows have picked at them. Don't go too mad, so we don't want to smother it up in too much, but the guts need to have plenty of blood on them. So, in that nice sort of colour. Get it done both and we'll be back. Okay, and there you have it. It's quite an easy monster to do. I believe you only get 2 in the Resident Evil board game. But I've got quite a few because they come in Resident Evil 2 and 3 as well. So yeah, quite a nice easy one to paint up. And yeah, not too much issues. If you would like to support the channel, please follow that link in the description. Any support will go into hopefully improving the quality of this channel and the videos. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and give me a like and subscribe, and happy painting. See you in the next video.